All right, Miss Mariah J. Day here, doing the last problem for a little bit of mole practice to help you out. So I'm going to go through number 18 on this mole calculation worksheet. Number 18, I'm going to take a little further than what it asks you for to give you a little bit more practice. So I'm going to ask for how many moles are in 68 grams of copper 2 hydroxide. Got that up on the board. What I'm going to do with that, after we've calculated how many moles, I'm going to take the number of moles that we calculate and I'm going to kick it up a notch and I'm going to find out how many molecules of copper 2 hydroxide are in 68 grams of copper hydroxide. Again, first step every single time, we got to calculate our molar mass. So our molar mass, again, we're going to find here, looking at copper 2 hydroxide, we got to find copper. There's one copper. Oop. Got to find copper. There's one in copper 2 hydroxide. So we've got one there. There's oxygen. Remember that this 2 applies to this entire thing. That means there's one copper and 2 hydroxides. So looking at that, you should see that there are 2 oxygens. So we've got 2 oxygens. And hydrogen, same idea. We've got 2 hydrogens. Know this because I've used it many times. Maybe you're starting to see a pattern that hydrogen will always be 1.01. Anytime we have a mole of hydrogen, it'll be 1.01 grams. Oxygen is going to be 16, rounding it up from 15.999. And then copper. Copper is element number 29. It is 63.56. Nope, 63.55. 63.55 grams. If I have 1 mole of copper just by itself, it is 63.55 grams. So now we gotta add these together. 63.55 grams. 16 times 2 is 32.0 grams. This is 2.02 grams. And we gotta add those all together. We got 63.55 plus 32 plus 2.02 equals 97.57 grams per mole. Anytime we have 1 mole of copper 2 hydroxide, we always have put copper 2 hydroxide on the scale. We got 97.57 grams. Just another little review for you all. As far as, because I'm taking this problem a little bit further, I'm going to erase some of the things I've got so far so we can at least get through this and you can see everything as best you can. So I'm going to put this number up here, 97.57 grams per mole. There's our molar mass. Now we're going to start with our problem. So we are going to go from grams to moles. So we've got 68 grams. We've got to start with that 68 grams. So, oops, that is not a very straight line. So, we've got 68 grams of copper 2 hydroxide. Coming back to here, so if we're going from grams to moles, we got to put molar mass on the bottom. We got to divide by. So we got to put this conversion factor. We got to put the grams on the bottom for the grams to cancel. So we're going to put 97.57 grams of copper 2 hydroxide for 1 mole. And it doesn't really matter. I usually end up writing what we need on the bottom, so the copper 2 hydroxide, and that way it's really clear. Again, it's going to get longer, so I encourage you always to make sure that you have that same number, that you write the formula for it as well. So, we're going to do the same thing as we've done before. We're going to, you can go 68 times 1, but you know 68 times 1 is 68. Or you can go 68 divided by 97.57, which is equal to 0.70 moles of copper 2 hydroxide. So cool, we've got 0.70 moles of copper 2 hydroxide. Now I'm going to take it one step further than what the problem asks you to do. I just want you to have a little bit more practice of going from grams to moles to atoms or molecules or particles or whatever. So we're going to take this number. This is where that 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd comes into play. So we're going to take this number, as far as space is concerned, if you have room on your paper, continue moving forward. I'm going to rewrite that number, 0.70 moles of copper 2 hydroxide, and I'm going to set it up. So, as a reminder, so we've just gone from grams to moles and moles to grams and grams to moles, moles to grams. Now we're going to go from moles to atoms. So this is where if you're going from moles to atoms, you have to multiply by that 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, we're going to multiply it. That means it's going to go in the numerator. If you're thinking the word numerator or on top or however, that's what we're going to go for. So that means if we put the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd in the numerator, we need to put moles on the bottom. So I'm going to put 1 mole of copper 2 hydroxide on the bottom. Oh, I didn't even do my little check. I apologize. That should have canceled out earlier. I would re-video the whole thing just for that, but know that you got to cancel to double check your work. Getting kind of late. I'm here working for you. All right, so now we got that. If we have 0.70 moles, we're going to have quite a bit less than 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of copper 2 hydroxide. So this is where I'm going to put 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 molecules of copper 2 hydroxide. You could technically say compounds, but I'm going to say molecules for now. So we've got, I'm going to enter that in the calculator. I'm going to go the long route on here, and then I'll show you again that shortcut. So up closely, I'm going to go 0.7 times, this is where you have to use a parenthesis as you remember, times parenthesis 6.02 times 10 caret 23 close parenthesis. You got to use those parentheses if you're not gonna use the shortcut. The parentheses will help you. If you don't use the parentheses, you're really gonna struggle. The calculator won't read it correctly. So you got to hit enter, and that will tell us our answer, which is 4.21 times 10 to the 23rd. Notice that number is quite a bit less than 6.02, so that makes sense. 4.21 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of copper 2 hydroxide. Double checking, we got moles, moles cancel. I'm going to again show you that shortcut, which was 0.7 times, you don't have to put the parenthesis here, 6.02 second function E. So that it says EE on the calculator, but unfortunately that's not consistent with what you see on the screen. That stands for exponent. That is the shortcut. All you need to do is hit 23. The calculator reads that as 6.02 times 10 to the is what that E stands for. Hit equals, we end up with the same number. So again, I hope that this has helped you. If it hasn't, please feel free to come to my office hours. Come to office hours on any B day at 7 a.m. unless for some reason something is going on. I have them posted on the wall right next to the door, as hopefully many of you check out. Monday, 3:30 to 4:30, and on Thursday. So I'll have my regular tutorial back. So again, if you have any questions, email me, do what you need. I hope that this helped. Take care. Bye.